Hi everybody, I'm Nikki and I'm going to show you how to play Pink Floyd's classic Another Brick in the Wall Part 2. The chords here, they're mostly there's a lot of triads and there's a lot of like kind of syncopated, funky kind of chord playing going on. What I'll do is first I'll just show you what chords are in the song. Mainly it's based around an open D minor chord. So that's this one. There's going to be a G chord. That's on the Hey Teacher, Leave Us Kids Alone. So there, you're going to play a G that's it's based on a C chord shape. And the way you do it, it sounds like this. Like that. What I'm doing is, I've got my index finger across the top 5 strings. I don't play the bottom E string. So there's my index finger. Then I'm going to line up my other fingers kind of like a C chord. So my pinky is going to be at the A string's 10th fret. And that's my root. That's my G. And then my ring finger is at the 9th fret of the D string. The G string is being held down by the index finger at the 7th fret. And then finally, you got your middle finger, which you're going to put on the 8th fret of the B string. And you're barring across the high E string, so that one can sound. It's just the bottom E string you don't want to hear. Those are the 2 main chords of the song. And then, of course, there's going to be another like riff that's with triads. But let's just get into it. Let's start playing it. So when there are vocals, you're going to play this kind of strum. So, when there aren't any vocals, in the spots where after he sung, We Don't Need No Education, there's a gap. Then you're going to play almost the same thing, but slightly busier. Then you're going to go. So it's like down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And you're going to go, like with that D minor chord, those 2 variations. And then you're going to get to this G chord. And here is where, if you're not used to playing funk and syncopated chords, this might be a little challenging. So I'm going to break it down and play it as slow as I can. Here's a way, if you're not used to playing these kind of chords, it's a 16-note groove. So here's something that you can do to kind of get used to funk strumming. If you have your G chord that I explained before, then you can do this. So what I'm doing is I'm playing 16th notes, and the way you count, there are 4 16th notes to 1 beat. The way you count them is 1 E and A. So I'm gonna 1 E and A, and then what you do is then you try to practice that by muting also. So you go 1 E and A. And the way I'm muting is I still have my fingers on the chord, but I'm easing the pressure off the strings with my left hand. So that's how you get the mute. So, okay, the strum, I'm going to play it like the original tempo, and then I'll break it down and play it really slow so you see what I'm doing. And it's basically over 2 bars. So it's going to be, 3, 4. That's it. So, okay, so slow down. It's going to be. It's basically something like that. See if I can do it even slower. So as you hear, it's a very syncopated rhythm. After you do that part, then you're going to go back to D minor, and and the bass goes bum 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 bum. I want you to keep the bass line in mind because it's going to help you to know where to hit the chords because they're so off the beat and so syncopated. So when you get when you've done the bum bum, so bum, and I'm just gonna, the bass goes down da bum bum, but I'm just gonna go da dun, and as the bass goes dun dun, I'm gonna prepare for the next chord, which is gonna be these guys. Now this is a couple of triads, and they're on the high E, B, and G strings. It starts with going across the 10th fret. That's your first one. Then, if you bring it down to the 8th fret and place your middle finger on the 9th fret of the G string, you get the next one. So we just did. Okay. Then, for the third time, then you're going to go back to this one. Then you're going to go back to the second one. Then you're going to go to the 7th fret, and you're going to shape your fingers as if you played open D chord. So you're going to have middle fingers on the 7th fret of the E string, ring fingers on the 8th fret of the B string, and index fingers on the 7th fret of the G string. And it's going to be, that's the one chord, and then you're going to bring it down to the 5th fret, the exact same shape. Now, I'm going to play this in context, so it's going to be, okay, so let me play that whole part from the G, so it's going to be, okay, when you're here, there's actually like another guitar that plays this F chord, like a bar chord, and that's the all in all, it's just a, and then you're going to go to a C chord at the 3rd fret, da 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 da, and then back into D minor, and then go back to your F at the 8th fret, da 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 da, and C, da 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 da. Okay, and then you do, the same chords as you did, with the D minor groove, and then it's the kids that are, singing the lyrics. After that, there's a 32-bar guitar solo. It's amazing guitar solo with David Gilmour. And it's mostly around the D minor chord. I'll show you the other voicings. So, okay, you got D minor, and then you're going to have a C with D in the bass, and you're going to basically lay your finger across the high E and the B strings at the 8th fret, then place your middle finger down at the 9th fret of the G string. That's your C triad, and then you're also going to have an open D string. So that's C with D in the bass, and it sounds like this. Like that. And what we're basically doing is we're mimicking the keyboard, because there's mostly keyboards, bass, and drums there, and the guitar isn't, as busy as in the verses. It's not that funk strum. It's just laying out these like chord pads. Okay, and then there's another one. There's a G with D in the bass, so it's the exact same shape, but you're at the 3rd fret instead, and again you have the open D string. So that's that one. More towards the end of the solo, you go back to your C with D in the bass, and then it's going to be a B flat with D in the bass. So now, exact same shape, but do it at the 6th fret, and that's going to be that one. So I'm going to play the chords for the whole solo. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. C with D in the bass. For 2 measures, back to D minor. C with D D in the bass, to D minor, G with D in the bass, to D minor, G again, and then B flat, back to C, and then end it in D minor, and that's where the drums take over, and you have the whole skit with the school teacher. So that's another brick in the wall. Obviously, I didn't cover the guitar solo here. If anybody's interested in that, then send us a comment, a request, and I'll post that video for you. But yeah, be really patient with yourself if you're not used to the syncopated strums. Just pause and listen back, rewind, and like I said, a good practice for doing funk strumming, which is based on like 16-note grooves a lot, is to go 1 E and and just kind of do that, and maybe check out and see if there's any funk guitar lessons that show how you can mix and match different 16th notes and muting and stuff, because that's what it's all about. So anyway, I'm Nikki. If you're curious about my music, you can check it out at nikkioneilband.com. It's not very Pink Floyd influenced. It's more like soul influenced rock and some funk. So that's nikkioneilband.com, and I'll see you later. Thanks a lot.